Hello, welcome back to After the Snap. And today we are discussing Evil season 4, season 4, episode 10. But before we get underway, I want you to say hi to Ashton. Say hi. Hello. Hi, I'm Ashton. Ashton is the executive producer here on After the Snap, and he came to make sure that I am doing my job correctly. And I might have to get rid of Ashton because you see, he's busy. He's a busy boy. So, anywho, it's time for us to say our farewells to dear Sheryl Luria. As soon as I say it's not quite my birthday yet, Miss Marge, but it's coming. I'm gonna be 4 on August. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be 2 on August 4th. Right now, he just wants to sit up under his grandmother for a little while, so I'm not gonna get rid of him just yet. But we do have to say goodbye to somebody, and that somebody is Sheryl Luria, as I said. Sheryl is in God's hands now, or at least we hope she is. But Sheryl would be so thrilled to know how many lives she touched in her brief, because in the grand scheme of things, it was a brief amount of time that we had Sheryl with us. I'm certain the ratings for this episode is going to be through the roof. In fact, it's already rated 8.7 out of 10 on IMDb. But we do have to say goodbye. So y'all join me in saying a fond farewell to Sheryl. It is with a mix of somber reflection and dark humor that we announce the passing of Sheryl Luria. Sheryl, a woman of many talents and dubious allegiances, has departed from this earthly realm to join the great beyond, or perhaps a different dimension of chaos. But Sheryl left a complex legacy. Her legacy is as complex and captivating as the end times that she nearly helped usher in. Can I get a witness? Sheryl leaves behind her devoted yet estranged daughter, Kristen Bouchard, who somehow managed to balance a career in psychology with thwarting apocalyptic conspiracies. Can I get an amen? She leaves her son-in-law, Andy Bouchard, and their children, Lynn, Lila, Lexus, and Laura, and the notably prophetic Timothy, often whispered about in hushed tones as the Antichrist. But there is no Antichrist that can't be corrected in Christ. Am I right? Can I get a witness? Those people will continue to navigate the tangled web of love, mischief, and doom that Sheryl so intricately wove. And Ashton has gone to sleep. Just like any other kid at church, he gonna go to sleep. Despite Cheryl's penchant for disaster and her past romantic entanglement with the diabolical Leland Townsend, better known as Jake Perry, her family remembers her as a loving, I think loving, he's going to snore, a loving, if somewhat estranged matriarch. Leland, her former fiance and the master schemer behind the impending apocalypse, will no doubt be issuing his own unique form of tribute to the woman he once pretended to love. His tribute will likely involve ritualistic shenanigans and ominous portents, but he will remember her in his own way. Prior to her untimely death, Sheryl was attended to by Father David Acosta, where she received the anointing of the sick. Her family is comforted in knowing that they'll meet again in paradise or somewhere, just not here. Now, that was I'm being a little funny and facetious. Yeah, we had to have a homegoing ceremony for Sheryl, y'all. Tell her, we are not worried about her eternal soul. because David put his hands on her at the time of her passing, and he told her, hey, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You get that, right? The no evil. You're going to fear no evil. Thy rod and thy staff, it comforts me. Okay, I'm going out of character for a minute now. I'm going out of my preacher character. Ashton has fallen asleep. So let me change his position real quick. Yep, just like any other kid at church, Ashton fell asleep as soon as the preaching started. As soon as the preaching started, he said, I'm out of here. Oh gosh. But back to Sheryl. We can take comfort in knowing that Sheryl went out fighting. We're going to miss her fiery spirit. We're going to miss her killer wardrobe and her ability to literally drive Leland out of his mind. And we knew somebody was going to have to die this season, and it was going to be her or Leland. And sadly, we knew it had to be her if somebody was going early, because she had done too much to Kristen for the character to ever be redeemable. She couldn't be redeemed in Kristen's eyes. So there was no way to reintegrate her into the family. So she had to go. She got to say goodbye to her girls, who even prayed at her bedside. Notably, except for Lexus. Did anybody catch that? That Lexus was not joining the family in prayer. So Kristen also showed a bit of, dare I say, evil. Kristen showed some evil in this moment by not giving her mama the comfort of hearing her say, I forgive you. Even if she didn't mean it, she could have said that just to comfort her mother's spirit, because she knew she was about to slide to the great beyond, but she didn't do that. And notably, it's a biblical principle to forgive those who hurt you, to benefit your own soul. But Kristen isn't bound by those principles, I suppose. Well, it ain't no suppose. I know she's not bound by those principles. And she proved it here today. Well, not today, but the day, whatever day you watch that episode, you notice Kristen could not forgive her mother. She did say, I love you. Yes, she did say, I love you. I'll give her that. And she did have a bulletproof wardrobe. And baby, I'm talking, she dressed killer spikes, killer. I guess I couldn't say killer, or I shouldn't say killer, but that's what they were. She wore some nice clothes throughout this season. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Sheryl and I'm gonna call it the sacrifice that she made, because she knew, she had already told David, I probably got about a week to live, so she knew she was gonna have to go. Oh, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Okay, so Sister Andrea shows up again in this episode. It's always a good day when we see Sister Andrea. And she came to the rescue of David one more time, because David literally crossed the line and entered Leland after Father Dominic implicitly told him, do not cross this line, do not enter Leland. What did David do? He entered Leland. Now, he knew that Leland was really up to no worldly good, and he knew that he had to protect, I'm going to go ahead and say it, the woman he loves and her family. So he stepped into Leland and tried to make Leland off himself, and Leland was able to turn the tables on him and almost got David to delete himself. Because I guess I have to censor myself a little bit, because one of my streams came back as not demonetized, but they wouldn't push it because of the fact that we were talking about some heavy stuff that happened in an episode. Hey, Bougie, you missed the funeral service, girl, but that's okay. You can watch it on the replay. Glad to see you here. Stepping into someone is scary. It's even scarier when that person knows that you're stepping into them. That's wild. So Leland. Leland has been busy over the last few weeks, has he not? So the storm was beginning to ramp up, and the girls decided we are going to be Captain Saver Bros and go next door because they thought they heard a little boy crying over there. So they went next door to rescue somebody, and come to find out that it was a dirty trick. It was a dirty trick. So as Kristen was like, oh my goodness, I got to go over here and tell the new neighbors I'm sorry. So she rushes with a cake next door, only to find out that Leland is the effing Leland is the neighbor. So um let's see. Now I'm skipping an important part because David, before he stepped into Leland, he made a plea to Father Ignatius. He wanted Father Ignatius to basically co-sign him murdering somebody who was about to hurt somebody he loved. That somebody, of course, is Leland. And Father Ignatius says, I can't do that. I cannot give you permission. You know, you'll be damning your own soul to hell. But then he offered a scripture that says, no greater friend is he, no greater friend than he who would, oh, I forgot the way the scripture went. It's in the book of John. No greater friend is he who would lay down his life to save a friend, or something like that. So David is like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be that friend for Kristen, and that's why he decided to step into Leland, and then Leland had surprise. So, but the priest, the Father Ignatius told him, hey, if I was able to get the man who killed my friend and perhaps his lover even, Matthew Korecki, I finally got Monsignor's name right. He said he would do it. And turns out it's the same man. It's the same man that is tormenting David's love is now, well, he was the one who terminated um Monsignor Korecki. So Um, so Super David, because that's what I'm calling him now, because I guess stepping into people is his superpower. Super David sees from across town that that Leland has moved in next door to Kristen. So he goes over there, he calls in Ben, and Sister Andrea was coming along for the ride. She came along on her. Oh, please don't wake up. She came along to her very unique set of skills. She wanted to offer those skills going over to Kristen's house in the middle of the storm, because she knew that the demons were going to be very active. The whole neighborhood is just overloaded, overrun with freaking demons. Father Dominic. Now, we had already talked about Father Dominic. He told David, don't try to step into Leland. David did it anyway. Once Father Dominic finds out, he says Leland Townsend was one of us. He was training to be a priest for 10 years. He wanted to be a friend of the Vatican, which is also what we know the entity as. And Leland knows all their tricks. So Leland is now 2 steps ahead, because he knows exactly what practices they're going to use in order to defeat him. He's already been there, done that. He knows everything. And my only question is, Father Dominic, don't you think this would have been an important piece of information to share instead of trying to be so damn enigmatic? We should have known this 2 or 3 episodes ago. I think we could trust Father Dominic, because remember, that was a question that we all had a couple of weeks ago. Can he be trusted? I think now it's almost proven that he can be trusted, but damn, it will be nice if you gave us the information that we needed to fulfill David's part of destiny. We needed to know this 2 or 3 episodes ago. And Bougie is agreeing. She said, exactly. Why didn't he share this little tidbit? God, we needed that. You predict a Father Dominic versus Leland battle, but will that undermine the role that David has in all of this? Because David, Father, as far as I know, Father Dominic cannot remote view. He cannot step into anyone. He doesn't have the same power set. I guess he does have the power of prayer or something like that. But if the power of prayer was working against Leland, he probably would have been defeated already. What else are you holding on to, Dominic? Yes. What else you got in your pocket that we need to know about? And David is our warrior. I don't know. We got to come up with a better name than Super David for him. I've been calling him Super David, but we got to come up with something better to talk about his superpowers. And Justice says, I agree. This was important information. We needed a lot sooner. We needed a lot sooner than today, or whenever, whatever the day of the storm was. We needed to know this. And Father Dominic kind of let us down and then disappeared for the rest of the episode. Well, how you gonna disappear for the rest of the episode? You drop that bombshell, and then we don't see you no more. Now the fight is getting ready to start, because I believe the storm that is coming is the storm that everybody's been waiting on, the climax to this whole apocalyptic battle that we're going on. So anywho, baby, the scream I scrumped would have the scream I would have scrumped if Andrea would have lost her life in that storm. I swear y'all would have been able to hear me across the miles, kilometers, whatever your thing is, miles, kilometers. But what stood out to me the most with Andrea is that when she met those demons in the storm and she confronted that one directly, it wasn't compelled to give his identity. He didn't disclose what demon he was. And over the last few episodes, if Andrea demanded to know a demon's name, the demon was compelled to give it to her. So this one wasn't compelled to disclose his identity. And that demon was actually stronger than Andrea, which we have not seen as of yet. No demon has been able to overpower Andrea, which means that the Prince of Darkness is sending out the big guns now. He's not playing anymore. It's getting closer and closer for time to for this grand reveal of his master plan, and he is sending out. I'm gonna lay my baby down. He's sending out his big guns. Let me lay this kid down, and then I'm gonna come right back, y'all. You're not gonna wake up if I lay you down, are you? Okay, get comfortable. Yeah, you gotta get comfortable, man. Yeah. There you go. Still here, Grandma. I didn't get rid of you. Sorry about that. Okay. Now I can really get into things. What does this one say? Is that the one I read already? Okay. Bougie says, I almost lost it when I thought Sister Andrea was gone. Baby, you, me, and Marge. And I'm pretty sure we are not alone. When Sister Andrea went down out there in that storm, I was like, I know they not about to. No, not this week. I don't think we should see Andrea die at all. Justice said, no, not her. Exactly. I was very concerned about Sister Andrea, but she regrouped very well. She regrouped very well. And I got this back in the day. Some shit like this would have happened in the Pierce household. somebody would have got their ass whooped. With number one, ordering up all that toilet tissue and then not putting it someplace where if the wind started blowing, it wasn't going to blow the tissue all around. Yeah, I would have got my butt kicked. They are not allowed to kill off Sister Andrea, right? Oh my goodness, Bougie is rebuking the storyline when she thought Sister Andrea was gone. Yep. Yep. And my question, excuse the applause, who the hell was this thing posing for? Who the hell was he trying to be all sexy for? This ugly ass demon. Once again, and going back to Sister Andrea. Yeah. Going back to Sister Andrea real quick. They jumped Sister Andrea too. It took more than one demon to take her down. So she's still strong because she got jumped. And I would have jumped in. I would have if it wasn't for that TV, if it wasn't for like me being real and that being TV, I would have jumped. So all I be looking for, sometimes I just be looking for a good fight. Okay, now we're gonna hear the round of applause for this ugly ass demon one more time. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so when we saw this demon, what led up to it was Sheryl breaking into DF, and she accessed the computers and she was tanking the stock. She sent out messages saying that Leland was dead. She was really, really giving it to Leland. And this will be kind of like one of her last acts. But how many people besides me thought that Boggs was the demon that Leland called? How many people thought that when Boggs showed up at the office building that he was there to kill Sheryl? Because I certainly thought so. And I was like, oh, they didn't really got him. But no, he was not there. He was truly there just to check on Sheryl. But Sheryl had to make sure by looking at his neck and seeing if there's this Velcro type tab on his neck that would have him take off his skin suit. But once again, after Sheryl and Boggs got away, it seemed to me like once again it took two people to defeat a woman, because when Leland finally came face to face with Sheryl, these evil MFs, they resorted to jumping her. They jumped Sheryl too. So, and while we're on this character, okay, I talked about I'm looking at my notes. I thought Boggs was the one that was going to do her in, but then it was this ugly demon here, and Sheryl was a whole action hero. Boggs would have died if it wasn't for Sheryl, and he was about to bite the bullet. Sheryl helped him. Then during that same scene, I thought Sheryl could have a happy ending, because this was before I knew that Sheryl was going to die. I thought Sheryl could have a happy ending with Boggs, because he was definitely shooting his shot with Sheryl. He was like, shit, apocalypse coming, end of the world, we got demons and shit. Why don't we go out and have a drink? He was really shooting his shot with Sheryl, and I thought that it was going to be some type of happy ending. But the things that I guess we got to look at it as the things that could have been if what happened to Sheryl didn't happen. Now, the one good thing, and I guess one good thing that came out of all of this is that all the skeptics, all of our team good skeptics have seen something truly unexplainable. So they all have to at least believe the supernatural is possible. And I guess that's the genius of Leland, the way the Leland and the Masters of Evil, they made it appear like that these things that were happening throughout the entire series, they made it appear that these things could have grounded explanations, and people wouldn't believe. They knew that if they could explain it any other way, they would not believe that it was supernatural. And they would think that anybody who did believe that these supernatural things were happening were either a fanatic or they were insane. They would not believe that these people were not crazy. But David, on his side, proved that he could see across town at the absolute least. We know he could see a lot further, but he showed that he could see across town at the absolute least and show up at the right moment to help save Kristen and her girls. And Dr. Boggs saw a demon take his freaking skin off and step out of it like it was a freaking bathrobe. So we know now that these people have no choice but to believe what went on, as far as the supernatural stuff. So I know there are other parts. I kind of glossed over the entire episode. So while I sip some water, drop a comment about something that you would like to talk about a little bit more, because there's a lot went on in this episode. And we know that these last 4 episodes were tacked on. So season 10, why do I keep calling it season 10? I guess because I want 10 seasons. Episode 10 was supposed to be the season finale. And now we were supposed to get a season 5, but they ain't giving us a season 5. So F you Paramount. But we know now that these last 4 episodes are our de facto season 5, and we are going to see how this thing culminates. Your heart went out to Sheryl in the early grocery store scene. Yes. It was because she, number one, we know that she had a reason to be fearful, but Kristen won't give her mother a chance to explain everything that's going on. So Kristen is like, looking at her mother like she's a conspiracy theorist and she's just losing her mind. Again, she was trying to rationalize what's happening around her when Sheryl knows for sure that this shit is real. Now, you might think that this was a game, but this ain't no game. And I'm trying to get y'all prepared. And what she gave to Kristen did come in handy. She was able to use, or at least to distribute, these tasers and all of this stuff to keep her kids safe. Yes, she is seconding my emotion. Bougie Barbie says, "Screw you, Paramount." Yes, because I can't believe that this is over, or almost over. We've only got 4 episodes left. We are in the final days of the final days for sure. Also, there was something I wanted to mention. Oh, Leland, Sheryl got the last laugh. Yeah, but that's another thing. She's just Kristen should, or reading Marge's comment. Kristen should have been with her kids as the storm was coming in. She took a bath, which was funny, rather than comforting her children. And if she would have been giving them directions, they wouldn't have ordered $300 worth of toilet tissue that ended up decorating your house like Halloween. That wouldn't have ever happened had she been giving them the attention that they needed. There are 2 huge story parts or points that I skipped. Justin is agreeing with you, Marge. There are 2 huge story parts that I skipped. The first one was when David and Kristen professed their love for one another. When he said, "If I had 2 lives, I'd give one to you and one to God." And she said, "If I had 2 lives, I'd give both of them to you." So my question is, and it ain't even a question, because I read an article where I got into the mind of Christine Lottie, who plays Sheryl, I got into her mind a little bit, and the way she explains it is that she know Andy ain't no good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pick up the where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? She had a real explanation for, in her mind, as she was acting out this character, what she was ultimately trying to do as far as Kristen is concerned when she went after Kristen's husband, Andy, who, again, we might actually have to see him go because we ain't seen him in a couple episodes. He might be gone, but so far we don't know for sure. But I want to make sure I get the quote correct, because what she said was like, you know what? I kind of see that now. I wouldn't have seen it like this because it wasn't spelled out. It wasn't spelled out implicitly in the series. But let's see if I can find the quote. You would think that I would have had this quote marked, but I don't. I'm gonna find it in just a second. Bougie Barbie said, I thought too, those girls are raised a little too maturely and have a lot of responsibility. Remember, the youngest is 10 and it's 4 of them. So even, I guess if you're the oldest, you kind of start to get used to looking after little ones, but you can't control your sisters and brothers like you could control your children. You get what I'm saying? There is a little bit too much of a gentle parenting situation going on there. And I'm not saying that you have to strike a child, but I'm saying that there needs to be some lines that a kid is saying, I know that I cannot cross this line because my mom or my dad is going to get me for it, But Kristen, in her defense, she ain't make those 4 kids by herself. She had a husband. And for most of this whole series, her husband has been absent. She has been having to do it all herself. And it makes her lean on her daughters for help and lean on her daughters to be a little bit more mature, more than she should have to, because you got 4 children. And again, it looks like every time a child popped out, he said, "Love, let me go climb this mountain." And he was gone for months. He wasn't, it doesn't seem like he was prepared to be a father and a husband. He is a long distance father and husband, and that's not good. The girls show independent thinking as a collective. Exactly. They have to get all together and come up with these crazy ideas that they sometimes have, and sometimes they're right. Let's just give them credit. The kids are smart, but they have to come up with these ideas by committee, and that to me is a bit unfair. And it's not just unfair to the kids, it's unfair to Kristen, because a lot of this has been put on her by her husband. I think I gotta be reading the wrong interview. Okay, so Christine Lottie says, I do think that Sheryl was at peace when she departed this world. She wanted 2 things. First, she wanted to bring down Leland. She's been playing the long game on that. She said for many reasons. And even though she couldn't kill him, she left those tapes, because that's the second plot point that I kind of glossed over. She left those tapes that have put him in prison at the very least. Now she thinks he's going to prison, and we don't know. We do know that law enforcement has been infested with members of the 60. So he might get off. He might get off whatever way she had him nicely set up. with the thumb drive. Secondly, she wanted connection and forgiveness from her daughter and understanding some kind of redemption with her daughter. Christine Lottie says, just like Marge said, she thinks that she got that redemption from her daughter because her daughter did say, I love you. There was a real feel of love between the mother and the daughter in those last moments. So, let me see. Oh, and she talked about why she really had it in for Leland after the way he did after they were engaged. This fake ass engagement he was just doing to get closer to Kristen and ruin her life. So she wanted to get back at him. She wanted to hit the patriarchy hard because she said in her own head canon that Sheryl had been done wrong by men in the past, and she promised herself no more. So when she went to war, she had nothing but, like, she got the love that she has for her daughter and her grandchildren, and the absolute hatred that she had for Leland. And that is what gave her the strength. And once she had all her ties cut from the company DF, once she got all the ties cut, that was the last strings that they had on her. And then she went and she got to going rogue. And when she went rogue, Sheryl was a doggone action hero. She might as well have been Michelle Yeoh playing that part, because she really, really, even though she at some point she lost the battle, she won a lot of war. I mean, she lost the war. She won a lot of little battles in between. So the question that was asked to Christine Lottie, who plays Sheryl, she said, it was said, she did some horrible things to Kristen and Kristen's husband, and yet she always prized her relationship with her granddaughters above everything else. How do you think she was able to balance out such opposing actions? Christine Lottie said, every time Sheryl did something horrible to Kristen, to her, it was justified because Sheryl loved Kristen. She carried on her relationship with Leland, always with the thought of bringing him down, something that Kristen would never understand. She kept saying, I'll never see you again if you continue this relationship with this man. But Sheryl had to continue her relationship with him in order to bring him down. So she was able to justify all indirect things that happened to Kristen because of her actions. She said her granddaughters, she just wanted to empower and to protect. Putting their father on a shelf and draining his brain fluids was maybe not the kindest thing to do to her son-in-law, but she was protecting her family from this absentee, no good dude who was married to her daughter. That to me, kind of spelled out to me why she had such disdain for Andy. She realized what her daughter didn't, that he would never be the husband that she needed him to be. He was absentee. Oh, let me pick up a few. Oh, wait a minute. I stopped here. Yeah, but the older one is only 15. The older daughter is only 15. She's giving stun guns and telling them to fend off ghosts and demons. It's wildly gentle parenting. And Marge said, interesting that Lynn is going the religious route and Lexus is possibly demonic. And I think that kind of, because I had been using the terms nature versus nurture, but it's proving that in this universe, in the evil universe, that nature versus nurture doesn't matter. Even though Lexus, a thing that I forgot, she was they artificially inseminated Lexus and into Kristen. So Kristen was part of in vitro fertilization. That's what it was. Alexis was a product of in vitro fertilization, the same place where they got the egg that they made Timothy. So who knows what kind of hoodoo voodoo that they put over this egg. But also it does fight off that whole notion of nature versus nurture, because they were raised in the same home, which means it doesn't matter in this universe. It doesn't matter how they were raised. Some people are inherently good and some people are inherently evil. And I don't know how we gonna fix Lexus. I have no idea how we gonna get Lexus fixed, or if she can be fixed, because she came from the same place that Timothy did. You love that Sheryl left the thumb drive to Kristen. Yes, she covered all the bases. Like I said, she was winning little battles, even though she was gone. She won. She hit one last sucker punch to Leland after she was gone. Can't wait to see what she left to. You know what? It didn't occur to me that it was going to be something different. But yeah, she had to have left him. She had to have left him something different. But so yeah, she was talking about the absentee, no good husband of her daughter, and she said Sheryl didn't feel Kristen had the strength to kick Andy out, but he was a horrible influence on the family, and he was not present. So that was the way Sheryl was able to justify all of the stuff that she was doing to him, because she didn't kill him. She was just like, I just want you want to be away from the family, I'm gonna get you away from the family. Now, even though I think she is glossing it over because this is her character that she's explaining, she did some wild shit to Andy, but Andy, again, it's not like he was innocent. To me, a lot of the stuff that happened wouldn't have happened had he been present in the life of his wife and his children. Marge said, exactly. I wanted them to show both the envelopes together. What could Sheryl possibly say to Andy? There's got to be something that's going to kill him. She got to make sure he ain't coming back. If this is the way Christine Lottie is explaining what this character is thinking, she has got to be leaving something that ain't going to be good for him. Yeah, but Sheryl wanted the elixir. So yeah, of course, she's going to make herself sound like a hero in her own story. She is telling the story as far as Sheryl concerned. Christine Lottie, for all intents and purposes, is Sheryl. But in her mind, she's trying to spell out, these were my motivations in my mind. But to everybody else, all of us watching at home and her family on screen, they like, this bitch is batshit nuts. And that's the way I felt. She's nuts. Hey, Reinhardt, glad you're he said, I'm glad you're talking about the character, not the actress. Yeah, I don't know what that means. And I don't want to know nothing negative about this lady. Bougie says, so wonder what Sheryl really know or who she was in the grand scheme of this. In her mind, she is the hero. Everything that she was doing is according to the actress. Now, in her mind, she was doing everything for her family. All of her thoughts after and for herself for selfish reasons, because Leland, he got one over on her with that whole. What did he say to her when he broke up with her? When they were quote unquote engaged, he said, take your dried up old ovaries and go back under the rock I found you under. And I'm like, oh, I see what you're saying now, Reinhardt. I caught your comment. In vitro fertilization is not allowed these days. Yeah, see, shit would have never happened in present day United States. I mean, they're trying to limit in vitro the same way they're trying to limit everything else in our reproductive system, as far as what decisions that you can make for your own self with your own conscience about your own body. How they trying to stick their little fingers in that. In vitro was another one of the things that they did. Yeah. Reinhardt said, I got to catch up on this show because I love the very first season and the second season was good, but I only got to watch it sporadically. you are in for a treat. I wish I could be you, Reinhardt, and watch it all over again for the first time because it is just that fantastic. It is so good. Yeah, in Alabama, but it won't be long before they're trying to do it, period, with a dot behind it. Because you know what? I'm not gonna, because y'all know how I like to go off on and I start going crazy and start talking political, and I ain't trying to mess nobody up. Yeah, man. I got you now, Reinhardt. You thought that I was saying goodbye to the actress. No, her character bit the dust, and I'm so sorry that you misunderstood. I guess I should have. Well, I did put Sheryl, so we know her name ain't Sheryl, except for in there. But yeah, I didn't realize how disturbing that could be for somebody who's a fan of the actress. Alabama is always moving backwards. Bougie, you're from Alabama. She said you're glad not to live there now. Yeah, they but I mean the whole nation. See, I said I wasn't gonna do this. Nope, but the whole nation is trying to move backwards. Okay, and that's it. I'm not gonna say nothing else political. Whole nation, all of us. They trying to take us back to the 1950s, not even the 1960s when the music was good shit. They want to take us back to the 19. They want to take us back actually to the days of churning butter, sitting outside with that big ass hat, and you sitting out there churning. They want to take us back to that, back to evil. Yeah, back to evil, which is what I need to be talking about. Evil. Okay, another thing that I forgot to talk about was Timothy showing up at Kristen's house. So even when Leland wins, or even when he loses, even when he takes a L, because you know they got him, they putting his hands behind his back, and they taking him to prison. Even when he loses, he wins. Because the only place they had to take that baby at that point was to his birth mother, who was I mean, not a birth mother, his biological mother, who is Kristen. And looking at that little sweet little angelic cherubic face, how could you just say no? She gonna take that baby in, right? Or do you think that Sheryl thought ahead enough to be like, and whatever you do, do not take that baby in? So yeah, we need to know exactly uh what was on that thumb drive besides the warning about the secret room in Leland's evil lair. We need to find out if she gave her any other instructions, particularly about that baby. Um, you want a big ass hat? Okay. You said Alabama and birth only. You in backwards ass Texas now. Yeah, but you know what? As long as we're not quite as backwards as Alabama, I mean, at least we like one step ahead of that bull crap. And Timothy is a cute baby. And I don't know what this means, Black Vamp 01. What does that mean? What you're saying here? Cheap viewers on, I don't know what that means. So I can't respond. Um, and I don't know if you can see that, Marge. Because I was gonna say, I'm surprised you, because we don't know what you're talking about. Make it clear if you're still there, Black Vamp. Let me see if you're still there. Oh no, you've checked out anyway. So um so anywho, Timothy, cute little sweet little innocent baby who is destined to be the Antichrist. What are we gonna do? What do y'all think is gonna happen? Do you think she's gonna say yes or no to Timothy coming to stay? And how long? I mean, how long do you think they're going to be able to hold Leland on whatever charges they've got for him? How long do you think they'll be able to hold him? And I'm thinking, what other question was left And if y'all could think of anything, drop it in the comments, because I'm trying to think if there was any other questions that I left this episode with. I kind of wondered, okay, of course, I wondered what was going to happen with Lexus. I wonder what was going to happen with Laura. Of course, there's the David and Kristen, will they or won't they? What the hell's going to happen with Andy? Is he going to croak in some way, shape, or form to free Kristen so that she and David can be together, and maybe with David's presence raising the children, and specifically Timothy and Lexus, of course, because she's young too. Maybe his influence, if they were to get together and get married, maybe his influence would be better for them. Do you think that's something that we even need to see? Bougie says she'll definitely take the baby in. Does she already know that the girls already met the baby? No. She wait a minute. Did she meet them again? What she don't know is that they know that baby is related to them, because she asked her mother, you didn't tell these kids that they're related, and she said, no, I didn't, even though we know she did. So you're not sure now. And I'm thinking, I'm on the fence about it myself. It just really depends on what her mother said to her during in that thumb drive, in that message that she left. We saw part of it, but we didn't see the entire thing, I don't think. So she showed Kristen how to take him down, how to take Leland down. But what else did she say? Maybe she said, you need to get you, if you're watching this, I'm already dead, so I can say this now. You need to get rid of that no good husband of yours too. Maybe, maybe she said some more things to her. Justin is on Team Timothy. He says she's going to take the baby. And he said, that's a good point. I don't know what point I made, but thank you. Oh, and okay, so now we see, or at least in my mind, in my little head canon, I guess I could say, like Christine Lottie, in my head canon, it looks like the devil or whatever is sending out his big guns, because Andrea was not able to handle these last demons that she faced up against, especially the shadow one that had the little hat. She was unable to do anything with that demon. He was telling her that this storm that's coming, the storm is here. So the storm that we've been waiting for all season long, that has been predicted to come, it came. And we don't know what evil blew in on the coattails of that storm. Justice says he's not sure what's going to happen with Andy. Andy has got to be a gunner. He's in the way at this point. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to have to die, or if Kristen is going to have to realize, look, I've been doing this without you for all this time. I love you now, because you don't have 4 kids and be married for however long and all of this, and there's no love there. But I've been doing this by myself, and when you come back, it's like you get in the way. Because remember, it was even a point where the girls were saying that he said they were being too loud or something. And I mean, quite frankly, they are a rambunctious bunch. I would have to have them use your inside voices. But if you was here helping to raise them, and they weren't watching themselves while mama is off at work and that kind of thing, well, then maybe you could put your foot down about noise and stuff. But you can't come up in here in the middle of the game after I've already set a routine of the things that are acceptable and unacceptable to these girls. And now you want to come in and assert your dominance because you're the man. Where the hell have you been all this time? You're off chasing dreams that cost money, and she's making money, and to take care of the kids. Another good part, Leland is the king or whatever of Hell Inc. And he is he is obviously he wasn't the manager before now until he ate the manager's heart. Then I guess he is the manager now. So we know that he's got a very high position, but he's not the CEO, right? He's just the manager. He doesn't hold any other specific job title in that organization. So yeah, it's a good question. Like, how strong is Leland? Andy is not an essential. He is not. And Bougie said, I've always said it. Yeah, he is. Leland is laughable. But we got to talk. Speaking of laughable, I'm gonna leave that up there so I remember to talk about it after we talk about yeah, Leland, he's got to be up there in the organization, but he's not the boss, right? There's people above him, or not people, demons, devils. And what was and Andy is not an essential character anymore. He was never an essential character. It's more or less his absences that make him like, we don't even need you, dude. You've only been here for like 3 or 4 episodes, but it does create a hurdle that Kristen has to get over. Kristen cheated on him, but again, can you blame her? I'm not saying it is right to cheat. Don't make me sign. Don't make me eat these words. It was not wrong. It was not right to cheat. But how are you cheating on someone who's never there? It's not like he's in the military and he went off to fight for freedom or whatever. He's never there. He's out climbing mountains while you raising children. And then you got all these other men. And I mean, I'm not knocking Ben and David for being there, because every woman, especially a single woman with 4 children, sometimes there are things that you need a man to do. And I'm not talking about the cheating now, okay? But sometimes you need a man, you need someone with that manly set of skills to come in and do. Remember when the toilet was messed up because of Andy ass? Wasn't that Andy who flushed that shit down the toilet? Was that him? Or did he come? Anyway, whatever the case, I can't remember. Whatever the case may be, she needed people to do things. There's a big ass hole in the basement that's been there since y'all moved there, and it took Ben to cover the hole. You mean to tell me you could climb a goddamn mountain, but you can't cover a hole in your basement, and you got a wife and children in there? Now I'm preaching a whole different sermon. I'm feeling you, Sheryl. He was an absentee father and husband, and who needs that? Leland is laughable. Remember when we found out that his real name is Jake Perry, and how they were able to get him out of David's head when David was when he had stepped into David and had him abusing Kristen, and what Lord knows what else he was gonna do. The playing the marcher song, and how crazy freaking Leland was going, and then the toilet backs up because not just the toilet, every drain in that duplex backed up because Ben figured out a way to make everything back up into his house. I thought that was hilarious. And if no other part of this was laughable, that was laughable. I laughed when David stepped into Leland and was trying to get him to kill himself, and it was nothing sharp. And I laughed every time I heard the little marching sound, and how we saw how Leland, Jake Perry, the Jake Perry version of Leland, how he was relentlessly bullied when he was in school, and maybe that's what turned him evil. Who knows? Is Leland even that, since Sheryl kind of killed him off over an email? But how long would it be before somebody figured out that she was lying? All it would take is for Leland to shoot off another email or take a proof of life picture with a newspaper. But who has newspapers anymore? If you got a newspaper with today's date and you take a picture and send it to everybody, like, look, proof of life, you know. Ben and David are the perfect masculine combination. They are. My grandson is waking. He's clapping in his sleep. So I know he about to wake up because he's singing a song in his head. He got a song in his heart. But anyway, yeah, Ben and I mean, I would take either one of them as a, as far as if I were Kristen and one of them or both of them or either, one or the other was available and I was available, I'd be like, well, both of them are pretty good dudes. I would take either one. But if you got a choice in the matter, I'm taking David. Kristen was possessed and haunted by demons. I'm not sure that qualifies as cheating. This is true. She didn't really do it on her own volition, except, was it the kiss from Dave when she and David kissed? Was that not organic? Or was she still under demonic influence? Because I don't remember. Yeah. Justice says she needs to just be done with Andy, but no killing. So Andy should make it out of the season. This is according to Justin. Andy should make it out of the season alive, but she needs to still be done with him. And I can agree with that. I can say if Andy can make it out of the season alive, God bless him. Literally. But he doesn't need to be with Kristen, and he really has to do a lot of rebuilding to be in his daughter's lives as well. The reason why he's in the mental institution and stuff is none of that is his fault. But the stuff that before that, all of that is his fault. You had a choice. You made a choice. Your choice was, I really need to climb these mountains. They calling me. Streets is watching. Streets is calling my name. I got to get out there. And there's no telling what he was doing out there. And of course, that is speculative. But if you are gone for years and years on top of years, we had known Kristen over a year before we saw Andy. So if you're gone for this long, I don't know what you're doing out there. Even if you really are just climbing mountains, you're not here raising kids. Excuse me. Okay, so do we got anything else about this episode to discuss? We talked about Jake Perry, Father Dominic, Father Ignatius, Sister Andrea, Sheryl, of course. So sad. So sad that character had to go. But like I said, she went out fighting. Right. Not just one kid, 4. How do you, okay, as a couple, how do you decide we're going to have in vitro fertilization and have, because they already had, 3 kids. So we're going to use in vitro fertilization and have another kid. And then you have him and he like, all right, got a mountain to climb. We couldn't even are you serious? Oh yeah, that bothered me quite a bit. That bothered me. You made 4 children. I don't know how long he was around for the older ones, but that youngest one, the 10-year-old, we've been in her life more than he has. we've been helping raise these kids. We've been watching them when mama was at work. We watching the kids. Are you serious? And Lexus, I'm very concerned about Lexus, but I think she'll hopefully be okay by the end of the series. And if not, hopefully we can get a spinoff somewhere or whatever. Yeah, we've been watching them kids for 4 years. For 4 years. Not to mention all the little off time in between seasons, because we wasn't watching them then, but ain't no telling what they was getting into then. But during the seasons, we've been watching these kids literally for 4 years. And the daddy just poof in the wind. Wow. Pour one for Warrior Sheryl. Yes, that's what I really should have did. We should have had a bottle of wine here and just a toast, but I can toast with my water. I didn't know that this thing was going to like disappear. There's my water. We're going to toast with the water. I'll pour out a little for Sheryl. Because she went out fighting. And if she wouldn't have got jumped in the end, she was going to get Leland. Leland was going to be gone. And I was so looking forward to it. I didn't know how they would go on with the series if something were to happen to him. So a little tiny part of me knew that he wasn't going nowhere. But boy, she came so close. She came closer than anybody to getting Leland. Sister Andrea spinoff would be great. Sister Andrea and Father Ignatius playing off of one another, him being kind of, or her being kind of the straight person and him being the comic relief. I think that would work well. And I'm not done with David. I'm not done with Ben. I'm really not done with any of this. And I'm really disappointed that we've only got 4 episodes left. Now I need to look up, because I didn't look up before, what is the next episode going to be called? So Evil Season. Don't play with me. Season 4. So episode 11, Fear of the Future. The team receives disappointing news. Kristen meets mysterious stranger Ellie, who claims to be an old friend of Sheryl's. Now I got to click on that so I can read the whole thing. Now, where did it go? Y'all was just giving me everything I needed to know about this episode, and then you decided that you're not. Okay, so y'all played with me. Y'all played in my face. Oh, that part with the part of with David trying to control Leland was the most hilarious part to me, because he was opening up all the drawers and ain't nothing sharp, nothing to kill him with. Oh, I understood what you meant, Bougie. But then when he got David, yeah, that surprise was funny as well, or not. I won't call it funny. He was shocked that, okay, I know that I can step into him. I didn't know that he could step into me, and that's because Father Dominic's dumbass is telling. I mean, he only telling half of the damn stuff that we need. We needed to know. We needed to know that. Now, I'm trying to find episode 11. Y'all got to give me the synopsis. The team receives disappointing news. Kristen meets mysterious stranger Ellie, who claims to be an old friend of Sheryl's. I wouldn't trust nobody who say that they are old friend of Sheryl's after she passes. No. I'm her daughter. If I didn't know about your ass, you wasn't her friend. And a game between the two. reveals disturbing information about Kristen's future and about Ellie herself. Ooh, I can't wait to meet Ellie. I can't wait to meet Ellie. I didn't think we were going to be meeting any new characters because I thought it's time to start winding down. We about to meet more characters. So, okay, we're going to see what Ellie brings to the table. Yeah, I don't have too much left of this episode. I think I shared everything I wanted to share. And Bougie shared that Leland controlling David and David being surprised by it was funny. She liked that. Now we just got to figure out what's going to happen next, and we don't have to wait long. I kind of like doing this on a Wednesday because then tomorrow the new episode. We've talked about it. We've bounced ideas off of one another. It's still fresh in my mind. I don't know about everybody else's, but it's fresh in my mind what we've talked about. And then when we watch the episode, I really be wanting to hurry up. But if I only had Ashton like today, it's easy. I can all we got to do is pretend like we at church. You're gonna go to sleep. But when I got Ashton and Amira is not going to sleep. Let me tell you, Amira is a talk baby. So if I sing, Ashton loves singing. Amira, all she loves to do is hear people talk. If you talk in her direction, she is so happy. So she wouldn't go to sleep because she hear me talking. My sweet, sweet babies. The Wednesday stream preps us for the new episode. Yep. And Wednesday is a good refresher for the new episode tomorrow. Great. So our plans are going to be Wednesdays, unless I get a damn job or something. And I'm kind of looking for something to do, even if it's like, and Justin likes Wednesday as well. I love Wednesday. I love it. I'm right with you. I am looking for something to do kind of part-time-ish and see if I can do some work from home-ish stuff, because surprise, surprise, the other grandmother is moving in here too. So it won't be just me as grandma here. Other grandmother is moving in too. So I'm like, damn, now we got too many grown folks in here for me. Somebody has to bring in an income to supplement. You can't feed 4 adults and 2 children. So I gotta go and get a job. I can't expect that from these kids. Oh, speaking of Amira, okay, before we, you heard me, Marge. Before we get up out here, come here. Let's see. Let y'all see Amira since you hung out with Ashton for a little while today. Hi, Amilwa. You want to say hi? Here she is. Say hi. Hi. She just woke up. Yeah, see? Yeah, you just love it when people talk to you. Say hi to everybody. You haven't seen this little setup yet. Like, oh man, lights is on. You say sounds wonderful. Mwah. I love you. I love you. Amira is not pleased. No, Amira is she's shaking the cobwebs off. She just waking up. She said, I had to come in here and wake my brother up. I can't be up by myself. I gotta wake my brother up. Now she wants her mama. You see, she looking that way. That's where mama is. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope, nope. Say bye to everybody. Say, we gonna see you next week. We're gonna see you next week, Wednesday, so we can talk about evil again. You say you're jealous of the grandkids. They are so loved. And you know what? They make you feel loved. These little characters, when days that I don't feel like nobody in the world love me, these little monsters do. Yes, they do. Even though she's sitting there, she got a mean mug on, but she loves me. She looking to see what she gonna mess with first. That's all I got this week, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. It's been fun. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, unless I get a job. See you later. Peace.